Hello, I'd like to help explain how to use one of Orion's key astro imaging accessories, the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. So to overview the key features, we have the ability to make gross focus adjustment, fine focus adjustment, and we're also given 3 different spacers to accommodate the different combinations of both imaging cameras and AutoGuiders. But to reach focus, it's critical that the imaging camera placed at the back of the off-axis guider and the AutoGuider are actually focused at the same point. Now, the further the imaging camera is behind the off-axis guider, the further away the AutoGuider must be. It goes the other way around too. The taller or the further away the AutoGuider is, the further away the imaging camera must be. So with different cameras such as a DSLR, we have a lot of space between the off-axis guider and the camera, whereas some CCD cameras don't require as much focus and they're actually the imaging plane is actually a little bit closer to the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. And so for that reason, we're given the adjustments not only to the coarse focus, but we can also add extensions as necessary to either the imaging side or the auto-guiding side. I'm going to show an example now using the off-axis guider with an Orion StarShoot Pro V2.0 and an Orion StarShoot AutoGuider, just to demonstrate a typical setup and how I would actually adapt all these pieces. Now, it turns out the Orion StarShoot Pro V2.0 requires the 17mm extension, or essentially the medium length extension that it comes included with the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. So I'm going to start by simply threading the extension onto the body of the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. But I won't tighten it down all the way. This is just a hint and or a tip, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So I've threaded it on, but I haven't actually tightened it in place. Now I'm going to take the Orion StarShoot Pro V2.0 with the nose piece removed, since we're going to be using the T-threads. These all attached with T-threads. And I'm going to thread the camera body onto the extension. Now here's why I didn't lock it down all the way. I want to utilize the rotation lock ring so that I can adjust the orientation on the camera as I wish. So I want to hold the camera at this angle, basically to align the long axis up and down. That's just the way I'm going to adjust the camera this time. And now I'm going to use the rotation lock ring to lock the angle in place, like so. So now I've attached the imaging camera to the back of the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. Now I have to attach the AutoGuider. Now, fortunately, a lot of AutoGuiders, such as our StarShoot AutoGuider, have T-threads on the camera body once you remove the nose piece. So to do so, I'm simply going to thread the AutoGuider on top of the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. You'll notice that's also attached via T-threads. Now I have both the imaging camera and the AutoGuider attached. But what if you don't have T-threads on your AutoGuider, or you're only able to use 1.25" nose piece? Well, that's okay too. Now in this example, I'm going to use an AutoGuider where the nose piece is not removable. You'll notice with the fine focus adjustment that there's actually an 1.25" opening. So I can insert the guide camera like so. Now, because there are T-threads, we can't have a set screw out here, but because of the T-threads, we can't have a thumb screw out here, but there is actually a socket head set screw that's able to lock down the nose piece. So for that, I'm going to use the included hex key and simply lock down the set screw to hold the AutoGuider in place. And that's how you would attach the AutoGuider with the fixed nose piece to the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider. Now that we have both the imaging camera and AutoGuider securely attached to the Deluxe Off-Axis Guider, we're ready to put the whole setup into the telescope. Again, the telescope must have a 2-inch focuser or male T-threads on the back, such as a camera adapter, but keep in mind that the field of view must be great enough to both illuminate the imaging chip and the off-axis guider, the pickoff prism. So for this example, I'm using a 102 f7 premium ED refractor. It can be any number of refractors, Newtonian if it's able to reach focus. This requires about 60mm of inward travel. So if your telescope doesn't have 60mm of free inward travel, you won't be able to achieve focus. With focusing, I want to talk about the other significant challenge using off-axis guiding, and that's finding a guide star. Remember that we're using a small pick-off prism that intercepts a small portion of the imaging plane's field of view to be able to find a guide star. So if there isn't a guide star in that small portion that consumes the prism, we simply aren't able to guide. So what are some of the ways we might do this? I would suggest, if the moon is out, pointing the telescope at the moon first. If the moon isn't out, try to find an open star cluster or otherwise dense and bright star field, so that basically you're ensured being able to see stars both in your imaging camera as well as the off-axis guider.